So and I'm just taking a little bit out of that. So it's from the book, The Lonely Man of Faith. And in 1965, the Soloveitchik, the Russian, said there are two sides of our natures. One he called Adam 1, and the other Adam 2. I guess the Adam comes from the biblical Adam, but that's what he called it anyway. So Adam 1 is worldly, ambitious, external side of our nature. He wants to build, create companies, create innovation. Adam 2 is the humble side of our nature. Adam 2 wants not only to do good, but to be good. There's a little difference there. To live in a way internally that honors God, creation, and our possibilities. Adam 1 wants to conquer the world. Adam 2 wants to hear a calling and obey the world. Adam 1 savors accomplishment. Adam 2 savors inner consistency and strength. Adam 1 asks how things work. Adam 2 asks why are we here. Adam 1's motto is success. Adam 2's motto is love, redemption, and return. You have to surrender to something, outside of yourself to gain strength within yourself. You have to conquer the desire to get what you want. In order to fulfill yourself, you have to forget yourself in order to find yourself. And to find yourself, you have to lose yourself. Now, all great writers, I think a good bit of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christian faith, you see all of these principles, but as those of you in the class, some of the principles you can't say, well, no, wait, I'm not religious, so I'm turning off on that. But everything I talk about is not religious, but it does use those examples. There are some consistencies in it. So servant leadership as a principle, if you think of it as the way a coach, let's say a football coach, is successful. In other words, success is everything for him, but he can't play the game. He can do a lot from the sideline, but he still has to do it through somebody else. So his method of operating is to make his players healthier. Well, that's the big thing there. Wiser. You can't have dumb people on the football field because you get in trouble pretty quickly today. And better able or more able to do the same thing for others. In other words, you're on a team, therefore you may be the smartest guy in the room, but you've got to bring people along. And you can only do that by humbling yourself, like Adam 2, or forgetting yourself in order to be successful. So if you take the principles of servant leadership and make it analogous to the coach, you pick up most of what's there. I won't take time to read that unless we have time. But the thing I want to just we had the wealthy, but very few wealthy. Andrew Carnegie's, J.P. Morgan, those type names. And the poor will always be with you. That's our responsibility, by the way. It's not ignored. But the concentration is on the middle class, what's called vast middle class. Now, I'm sure all of you keep up with what's happening to the middle class, but America's middle class, one of the country's core values, as I've stated, is steadily losing ground. We have lived with this because there's an innate desire to emulate the wealthy. What does that mean? You know how to take the queen of England. I mean, we all would sit there and be on a parade, or if she's on the news somewhere. Why do we like royalty? You see it on TV and things like that. Then we take somebody really wealthy. We could hold the door for them, that kind of thing. Even though we're egalitarian, we're very equal. But we do give way historically to, and use the word royalty, whether that's in business or otherwise. And much of that is celebratory. You know, there are a lot of people, very wealthy people, you don't even know them, don't hear about them. And there are others who draw a lot of publicity. But we know we vote politically. And I'll give you an example. When Ronald Reagan ran, and he appealed to this middle class. So you had auto workers who were making $30, $40, $50 an hour, and they were living the American dream. They were living as middle class people. So whereas historically they voted with the labor unions and people like that, they said, oh wait, middle class, that's me. I'm in that middle class. And therefore, that's who I'm going to vote for. And then was the thing, cut taxes and we'll grow. We'll cut taxes and we have this enormous debt problem. So the grow your way out of it came along pretty slowly. In fact, today, in today's political season, you still hear, well, we'll grow fast enough. Frankly, you just can't grow that fast. But the fact is, we all bought into that, and we voted in that manner. And many things that are basically emotional. Immigration, you know, drives us nuts because we can't get all our PhDs and masters, people who really like yourselves that contribute to the U.S. And yet we say stay out. What kind of message is that? And so over and over and over, we used to call shoot ourselves in the foot against the things that would make us great. And so, but now, and I sort of pose the question, let me take it this way. Where does that go? You know, any trend that's out there, you can do a straight line trend this way. So if inflation is 3%, project 3%, and 20 years from now, X will happen, and so on. But what we know is nothing is a straight line. In fact, in government that you see in the class, I say when there's a border that's a straight line, there's trouble. And if there's no natural border, the ridge line or river or ocean or something like that, if it's man-made, it's not going to work. If it's more tribalism or culture, the instinctive things. But so we've had this automation. All of you know it very well in agriculture, steam engine, and we could replace this much manpower and manpower, and right on we march, and we all participate gladly. It's been very good for us. Now you realize that anything that's repetitive can be handled by a robot. And soon, witness the driverless cars, things that are not repetitive. We can think, machines can think. So you could today project out and say, but what's happening to all these people I just talked about who are already losing their jobs? You know, the people that were laid off in the 2008-9 period, waiting to go back, but the jobs aren't there for them to go back to. So over here we have free enterprise saying, whatever you can do to make your business more efficient. That's what you're supposed to do. That's almost a religion. Got to do that. More productivity, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously computers do that. But we couldn't be, I mean, think about, old-fashioned telephone operators, there'd be if we didn't have the automated part of the telephone industry. You can find that would occupy every female on Earth. And so those are the kind of examples that I'm talking about. But now what happens? Think with me, what happens when we go on and we keep displacing people? We can't find a job. They're not lazy. They keep finding a job. And we don't have a job. Yet we are prospering. The elite, not just the top 1%, but for the upper middle, we still prospering because guess what? That mantra we said, if we make it more efficient, we can make more profit, increase our productivity. That's what we're doing. But we're marching in a way that we're not thinking of what happens when you have all of these people disenfranchised. We're not paying a living wage. Look at the argument we have against the $15 an hour minimum wage. There's a point at which our elite, our business elite,
has got to figure we've got to look after this middle class. Don't look after the poor, but the middle class has got to do something.
And it's in here somewhere, here.
Quoted. But even leaving aside questions of how to distribute that wealth, the widespread disappearance of work will usher in a social transformation unlike any we've seen. John Rousseau was right. Then saving work is more important than saving any particular job. What's he saying? Saving work. That's the institution of work. Whether it's right or wrong, we don't know anything but work. If we don't have a job, even if we have the money, we don't want to sit home. We want work. And we're going to make it nonprofit work, charity work. But our human nature is we want to work. We want to feel productive. So saving work is more important than saving any particular job. Industriousness has served America's unofficial religion as America's unofficial religion since its founding. The sanctity and preeminence of work lie at the heart of the country's politics, economic, and social interaction. What might happen if that goes away? And it's something that I'd like to talk about informally in the remaining time on it. I do want to read my friend Michael Curry, who's Middle Eastern. He's a leadership guru, very unusual. I can tell you stories. You wouldn't believe. We meet in Turkey often, but I want to read what he says. Leadership is not a top-down phenomenon. It is not limited to some people. It is an act, an intervention that mobilizes people and organizations to make them face their hardest challenges, capture opportunities, and contribute to creating a dignified life. In this sense, everyone can and should exercise leadership if we are the hope for a better future. True leadership is not about titles, positions, power, knowledge, charisma, persuasion, or having people blindly following you. What is the point of having followers if you're headed in the wrong direction? Which may be what we're talking about. Lacking a sense of purpose, something that motivates you, courage, that can overcome fears, wisdom. But what happens when this becomes an overriding concern? So if we could, I'd just like to see what you're thinking is. Any question about that or anything else for that? We can, like class, it's hard to get people going. We were talking at lunch about something, the issues. When you think of Wall Street, that's not producing anything. That's facilitating the production. But it's not producing. And if you take the bond trader, it doesn't create jobs and that kind of thing. Yet we give tax breaks. We give tax breaks to private equity funds. But for the most part, from a venture capital, because it clearly creates jobs. But there's a big slice over the last 50 years of economic pie that's going just to the transaction. And that's where so many people are trying to make money. And others. Question is, what are you going to do when you've got this disadvantage? That's a lot of questions.
Yeah, you got an interesting comment that the middle class seems to be trying to emulate the wealthy